Hey, good morning. Yeah, most dreams are confusing, Ellie. You should, if you're not confused, you're probably not in a dream, but oh, they actually send you an email? Like, hey, by the way, there you go. Yeah, so what, they sent you an account update or something? Did they actually send you an update saying, hey, you have lots of money? Come back and trade with us? Oh, wow. Right, BW? It's kind of although I don't know. Why does everyone always looking to short? I don't understand that. Why is everyone like, hey, we're in the middle of a huge bull run. Let's get our faces ripped off. I said woohoo, and the RTX voice didn't think I was talking, so it didn't. I don't think you guys heard that. But anyway, yeah, no, it's definitely. I mean, look, we've seen big days in the market, and then things about to open in about 30 seconds. We don't know what's going to happen. I mean, UAL could start dumping from the get go. I've got no idea. But look, we've seen massive runs. Is everyone forgetting what has already happened? Like Restoration Hardware. Is this does this not do you guys not remember this? Let's go to another one that had massive ass bull runs. Amazon, huge bull run, new highs. Like pick your fucking poison and then you want to short it? How's that been working for you so far? So, yeah. No. If you guys want to short, that's cool. But if you do short, take half the capital you're going to spend shorting and just send it to me because it's going to go to much better use. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting open. Oh, I guess it's more than 30 seconds. I guess it's like 2 minutes and 30 seconds or something like that. It's telling me 1 minute and 30 seconds. 1 minutes. That's right. You can pluralize one thing. I just did it. BW, take half the money you're going to short it with and send it my way. Let's look at the SPY. Haven't looked at the SPY in a few days now. Let's look at the big ones. Apple's got to be up then. Oh, nope. Apple's not up. Amazon? Nope. Microsoft? Nope. Maybe something to shorting it then. Maybe something to shorting the index. Yeah, see, when your leaders aren't leading, but your indexes are rising, something's usually a little bit amiss. So that is a little bit tricky. NIO kept pretty flat overnight. One of the few that we've been following that is. Matches all over the place. Tesla's a little bit up. Our buddy IVR is just in fuego. 3.5 up to 5.5 as an overnight high. Wow. That's a recent pump right there. Holy crap. That's huge. What do we got? 38, 40% for IVR, 24%, 23% for NCLH, which is a cruise line. That's awesome. So yeah, they're picking up. Soxel's even up 6%. All right. I'm going to refresh my screen. And if I pass out for the amount of profit I have, somebody splash cold water on me. Yeah, I'm passed out right now. That's pretty passed out. Holy shit. Wow. I almost didn't show that message, Ellie. I almost didn't show it. Holy crap. My UAL position's up 273%. That is a massive move up. Usually massive moves up, it usually pays to take some profits off the table. Yeah, I got options. They're good until January. Holy Jesus. And my Soxel option, Soxel's not even up super massive, and yeah, that's a huge move for these beaten down. See, it's all the beaten down ones, the ones that we've been patiently for. RH up 5% on earnings. That'd have been another. That if I did not sell my RH even the half, that'd have been stupid. Oh, IVR, I've got. Oh yeah, I don't have options in IVR because I was going for the dividend, but I guess I should have. I didn't think about that. But my IVR is at 52%. I just have straight up stock. Looking for some dividend, but yeah, the options would have been stupid. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, so UAL, so 20%, man, 20% for UAL. Come on, I can't even click on it. Let me click on it. Dude, Ellie, there's nothing wrong with that, dude. Try, if these things flipped the other direction, they flipped 20% up, they could have flipped 20% down. I mean, okay, they couldn't have, but they could have. But they could have. So, yeah, let's just see what the open leads us. That is a huge print on my account. It's not going to stay up there. There's no way in hell. It's just the way it works. But all right, let's try to get rid of some emotions. I'm attempting. I've been kind of on a high since yesterday. I'm trying to get off of it. It's difficult. Genus down 16%. There you go. Rip my heart out on that one, even though I don't own it. Um, ah, I knew you were going to say something like that, Ellie. I knew you were going to say something like that. Well, my target on UAL is 60, and I have it till January. So I really don't have a lot of legs to stand on for some of that stuff. But yeah, I'll just see how it holds up for right now. I'm trying to be patient. I was a little impatient with the restoration hardware. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I had some good profit here as well. But this would have been a 10x on RH, and I only had 3.5 on half of my position. So I mean, it's a catch 22. I mean, look, the account's moving in the right direction. Taking profit seems pretty rational, at least some. Let's see what some of the other airlines are doing. American Airlines, what did that do? That was up, American Airlines was up like 40% yesterday. Holy shite. Look at that thing. That thing was up massive. It looks like it's actually continuing. UAL stalled a little bit, but I'm sorry, AAL, 30%. It was up 40% yesterday, 30% today. Guess we should have backed the one in more debt. Let's look at Love, Spirit Airlines coming back. Only up 9% there. So, I mean, we're in kind of the second biggest leading one. IBD says blowout jobs report this morning. Really? What's blowout about that? Surprise payroll gains sync tech. What? Work from home stocks. Is sync Zoom? That's a work from home. Only 5%. Yeah, it's not really tanking it. So yeah, UAL kind of down a little bit from the gap up. Um, American Airlines though, and then Love, then ALK. I got to restart my Thinkorswim. Lovely. I should have said cancel. Oh well. That's crazy. Ah. See, When you get too much money in your trading account, you start thinking about the money, you stop thinking about the percentages. And okay, there we go. Are you gonna start Thinkorswim? Apparently, I don't know my own password anymore. Oh, my win option is doing good too. Win is beat up. I got a good win option. Man, everything's working here. It's because I'm in all those beaten down names, which is the wins, the Soxels, the UALs. American Airlines. What's Win doing? Yeah, Win Resorts. That's what I'm trying to look at. There we go. So Win doing pretty good breaking out of there. That's I'm not sure if that's past my profit point. I think I wanted to go to 120. I mean, I could take profits on a Win. That's a smaller position size. Kind of. It's actually a smaller profit size, not really a smaller position size. Um, It'd be a dope trade on IVR too. Coming down. See, that's the hard part about days like this. I sold RH on a day like this, and then it just turned around and continued. 1% for the Nasdaq now. So let's see if the see what our leaders are doing now. If the Nasdaq's rolling, Apple's turning back to the upside. Microsoft, are they gonna rotate out of the the physical stocks into these tech stocks? Look at Microsoft, man. This thing looks great. Microsoft ready to launch. Trump booms after job report. Trump booms after everything. Maybe payroll soars by 2.5 million. Unemployment rate drops, crushing bearish expectations. Man, you know we're in a topsy-turvy world when you know, unemployment rate drops and we want to short. Still a bull market. I mean, UAL still, I mean, let's see what's not working today. Ooh, OngoDB taking it on the chin. See, that's one I did take profits on that's working out pretty well. Genus back down here, looking for some basing behavior now, maybe. NIO looks like it finally turned a little bit red, although not much. AMD still waiting for this bad boy to. Oh man, some AMD yesterday. AMD's on the 50-day right now. I'm sure a lot of people have forgotten about it. I mean, look at this. Who wants to pay attention to this chart right here? It's a handle and a big cup and handle, but it looks great. So I don't know. I'm kind of intrigued by a 50-day buyout on AMD down here. You got AMD yesterday? Yeah, I was looking at it after hours, whenever I was looking at it, and pretty intriguing. I kind of like it. I have some AMD from like way down here at the bottom. I was lucky enough to be here when it was down there, and I pulled the trigger. Not a big position by a long shot, especially now. IVR less than 24 hours made more than my V play in 2 months. Yep. Yep. Well, that's what I mean. Look, you hope for that. What are you gonna do? Soxel's still going and man, Soxel's been kind of doing the right stuff here. Rail back to 20%. Bet you my Carnival Cruise lines. If I'd have held that Carnival Cruise option, this probably would be super good too. Yeah, look at that now. I got a little bit antsy on this one. I took out a few of those little guys. Oh man, this is almost worse than losing a lot of money. At least when I lose a lot of money, I know exactly what to do. But when you're up too much money, yeah, it's too much. It's an all-time high for my account. Seriously. And I'm a little freaked out. Little freaked out. Little freaked out. But look at the Nasdaq, man, 1.2%. Oh, like how can I take profits when the market's just freaking rocking? For 2020? Yeah, I was looking at it. Well, now it's more. It was like 130% yesterday. Today it's 146% for the year from 2020. But it's the problem that I talk about from time to time. I mean, obviously I don't harp on this problem, but um, it's just a percentage game. When things get elevated like this, the percentages. And now my obviously, of course, my broker screen is taking a long time to reload. I don't know, is it my internet or what? Well, Ellie, believe it or not, my friend, I've actually been taking profits all the way up. Believe it or not, I've been taking profits all the way up. Um, yeah, I was looking at, I've taken 5 or 6 profitable trades in the past month or so. Just taking them. I took, what the hell? Maybe I should sell. My broker's broken. But no, I mean, I've been taking profits. Took that RH trade. I had a PayPal trade. I'd have to look through my stuff, but I took a bunch. But I've been trying to I've got UAL and Soxel are my two big longer term bets that if they pay off, will pay off. I mean, massive, massive, massive. But all those other little ones, I've been taking profits on those. But these have just been working. So, I mean, it's not like I'm irresponsibly holding on to too much. It's just working really well. And yeah, I've had times where things have worked really, really well. But this time's like different though because we bought like at the bottom of coronavirus, and then usually when you buy, usually if you look at markets, what the hell E-Trade? Not that I'm doing anything, it's just a little bit annoying. It's just sitting there clocking. I've reset, I've done everything. Apparently, I need to learn a little bit more in depth about how browsers work because I have performance issues here. See, that's better. I wonder if everyone's just jumping in today, like all the retail guys. See, there's a whole thing about everyone was kind of waiting for something to happen in the market, and we didn't. We did what we should do, which was our job. As a lot of people sat around and just fucking guessed, let their emotions lead them. But this is probably when everyone's going to start getting involved again. Everyone heard that the Qs reached all-time highs. The Nasdaq's not quite there yet. Looks like 2 points away. We're probably, oh, is that it? Okay. We just watched the bubble flip. There's the all-time high for the Nasdaq. Everyone's probably going to pile in now, which does kind of mean the institutions are going to distribute some, but they've already been distributing the cloud names. No one's, I mean, I don't know who's buying airlines other than institutions, which, you know, have been also leaning back in finally because if you look at this and we discussed this, right? On the way back up here, we had a low, we had very high volume, and then we have additional high volume pocket pivots on the right now. So, I mean, I can't even argue this is topish action on UAL and Soxel. None of these are topish action. We just happen to buy it like the best possible time. And this is what happens when you do that is you're scared because of you're making too much damn money. It's it's a weird dichotomy, Rob. Like you honestly have to separate you have to separate your trading brain from your logical brain. You can't have one unified brain, right? Because if you had one unified brain, which most people do, you would not have you would not have bought down here. You would not have bought airlines when when Warren Buffett dumped all of his airline stock. I don't know when that happened, but you know, pretty much most everyone here has been buying airline stocks because I don't know. I could say why I thought to buy airline stocks, but they weren't going bankrupt. Yeah. So I mean, look, it's a catch 22. It's a catch 22. I mean, anyway, I'm just trying to make sound decisions and it's tough for me. I've been doing this a while too. Yeah, it's tough to know to what do I do with UAL up here? It's such a big gap. I mean, let the morning futtery play out, I guess, and see where it ends up. You know, talked about rest. I think yesterday we talked about RH and probably should have let that close at the end of the day. Maybe it was Power Hour I discussed it. If I was thinking of RH, and this would have been a 10x for me, and I closed on this day here because we gapped up and we're coming down, which is this day, which in hindsight looks like nothing. And I mentioned it could probably, continue going parabolic, which it did. I probably should have given it to the end of the day, which is probably what I should do today with UAL. Give it to the end of the day, see how it's behaving. If you look at the daily on this thing, I mean, it's a little bit of a hairy day, but it's not really, and we all have these recency bias in our accounts and everything where, um, this most recent event is the most important thing, like today, you know, up so much in a lot of names. But is it the most important day? Maybe there's bigger plans. There's a bigger plan for Restoration Hardware into earnings. It would be a chaos day. This is a good normal day. We just happen to be in, like, for the past 3 days, the best stocks in the market, which doesn't happen very often. I mean, come on, like, honestly, how often are we stuck in the best stocks? We're just like stuck in the best stocks. We're like, oh God, what do we do? It's like having too much good food in front of you. You're like, oh, I just want to eat it all, but I'm gonna die. So anyway, yeah, hmm. Hey, I'm just trying not to make stupid decisions and knee-jerk decisions. That's the only thing you can do. Like, there's no wrong decision here in reality. There's no freaking wrong decision. Absolutely none. I could sell everything on UAL and walk away and be happy as a clam and shit, if that's even a thing. Let's say it gives up most of the action today and then I sell down here. I'm still going to be up super huge. And part of it is because I have been taking profits on the way up on some of those smaller positions. And even those I should have held. So you can't do anything right. You can do nothing right. At the end of the day, do nothing right. It's funny. But man, the market 1.5%. This was actually flat. The market was flat. And then it looks like it just blasted off for whatever reason. I don't know why. But yeah, it looks like it just blasted off right there. Maybe just to get it into all-time highs to get people in. I mean, that could be a possibility. So, I mean, we could have a little bit of fuckery on our hands here, and I wouldn't put it past the market people to do that, but you don't want to count your chickens before they hatch. Yeah, Rob's saying that's right, grasshopper. You no lead the market. The market leads you. Yeah, exactly. And so far, everything's hunky dory. And if the Fed's pumping everything, I mean, what you gonna do? You're gonna fight the Fed? You're gonna short the market? Who is it? BW. I hope you don't short the market. If you short the market, make sure it's a shortable, not just because you think it's too high. I'm not. I'm not a fan of watching people lose money. It's not something I enjoy. And when I yell like "Don't short the market," it's not because I want to sound like I know what I'm doing or I want to sound good. It's because I literally don't want you to lose money. Like everyone that's been shorting Tesla, I've been saying, please don't short Tesla. It's not just because I love Tesla, and I do love Tesla. It's an open secret. Kind of like Ellie's sexuality. It's an open secret, okay? But it's just because I really don't want anyone to lose money doing things that you just shouldn't do as an investor. There's certain things you shouldn't do as an investor. One of them is whatever the fuck you want. That's one thing you shouldn't do. Can you do that? Absolutely. But you can also do it while you're driving. If you're in the middle of the 405 freeway, which is a huge freeway in California, if you don't know, if you're in the middle of the 405 and you want to do donuts, you know what? Go ahead and do some donuts, but you're going to be doing them for about zero point 0.2 seconds because the car 6 feet to your left is going to be smashing into you. A guy buying puts on Apple. Yeah, right. How would those puts be working today? Not very good as the market is on fire. Look at Apple, all-time highs. Do not short the market when Apple's going at all-time highs. Look at this big, beautiful bull flag. I mean, it's unbelievable, and I agree that it's unbelievable, but it is what it is. There's reality, and then there's the stock market. And you just deal with the reality that is the stock market. Soxel, great day today. Doesn't even look like it's getting started yet. Look at those past 3 days. My goodness. Damn. I mean the volume's kind of garbage, but there's no selling pressure. That's which is probably why the volume's a little lower. Yeah, I don't know. Soxel's looking fantastic too. Like I said yesterday, the coronavirus drop in the stock market was absolutely a gift for guys like us. Holy crap. AMD's a good one. So BW's got some September 240 on the SPY. I picked up DRV. I don't know what that is. I don't know what DRV is. Is that an actual stock? Is that a what is that? I don't know what this is. Three times leverage bear real estate ETF? Like why? Like seriously, why BW? Derivative of XRP. I don't want you to lose money. Like why would you do this? Why? No, the question isn't why not BW. The question is why. That is the actual question. The question is literally why. If you're doing it to fuck with me, that's fine. Just call it a joke and you can, you got me. But in all honesty, I just don't want, again, why? If you're gonna hedge against a BTC long, why don't you go on BitMEX and then do like a some kind of 10x short or something where you can only put a small portion of capital? That would be an actual like legitimate hedge. But shorting the S&P 500 is not a hedge against Bitcoin. Flips his table at the window. That's funny. If you were to flip a table out of most windows, they're not glass. They seem to be all plexiglass anymore. So just like bounce back at you. Really kind of an anticlimactic move, or actually a very climactic move for the people laughing at you as you lay on the floor. All right, what else we got here? That's true, Ellie. I guess VW is either much smarter than I am, which is possible, 100%, or he's about to learn a huge lesson, like everyone that's been shorting the market. Yeah. My favorite saying in the stock market is even if you're early, you're still wrong. That's one of my favorite sayings in the market. So even if you're right, maybe you're 2 months early. Maybe you can hang your hat on the fact that you thought the market was going to tank, but you still lost money. So I don't know if that actually works out very well. Like I said, I just don't want you to lose money. What you do is your prerogative, but it's kind of one of the reasons I started my channel is to stop people from making all the damn mistakes I made. Which is do whatever you want whenever you want, because you can. All right, a little bit of pullback now, a little bit further pullback in some of these names that have been working the past couple of days, and it has been a huge run. And then you got Apple, which only has two A's in it. Okay, they're selling off too. Come on, Nasdaq. And if you're going to short something, I don't know. I almost would short the Nasdaq rather than the S&P, but I guess to each their own. Nasdaq's the high flyer one. 15% now for UAL. Again, so tough to make a decision up here. Actually, if I bought a UAL put, that would probably do the trick, but I don't really have any cash left. Okay, so like what would a hedge be on a UAL put? Let's say it gets all the way back down to yesterday's 40. You're buying this 45 for I could do that. I mean, I could do that. Pay $1.80 for a put that could go to $5, but that wouldn't really make me much money compared to I don't have that much capital left. Dropping further there. Man, E-Trade is so slow today. See, that's a candle I don't like. And this is the problem. I have kind of that bias from that RH trade, which reversed and continued higher. There's a little bit of bias in there from that. Yeah, I think the other trades, yeah, we can start looking at other trades. I don't know if I'm ready to get rid of UAL, but I mean those cloud names, they may start rotating back into those. Yeah, AMD. I like the AMD trade. I mean, it's super early. I like the trade. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I'd like to see that bullish reversal at some point. I think watching it is probably a little bit better. Yeah, I mean, just watch it right now. We're right at this 50-day moving average, which is 52.32. We're right above it. Um, I don't think there's a major reason to buy it at this moment in time. I mean, it's kind of moving lower here. If you want to buy stock at these levels, I'm not as mad. The problem though is that your good stop is still about 6.5% away. But the 50-day has been providing support recently. So from that perspective, um, just this wick down underneath there would be just a small undercut of the 50-day, and you're basically right on the 50-day at this stage. So that could be a good entry point from strictly just a general stock perspective. So from that perspective, I actually wouldn't mind buying it down here, but I think probably leveling in would be a good idea if you were to do that. And then if you don't see bearish action, just hold that position if you want to do that. But yeah, I don't mind buying a little more down here. I guess I'm getting a little more comfortable buying lows. And yeah, MA's got squeezes on them. We got the 10 undercut and the 20, but they're all both above the 50, and the 50's been holding it. So I'm not too mad. If you want to buy it as it like comes through the 10 or comes through the 20, I mean, obviously you're going to be a couple dollars above where you are right now. This is definitely more of a 50-day support, which so far has been pretty good. We broke the 50-day over here, and so far it's been holding support. So this is not a horrible buy. It's actually a relatively tight stop loss if you view it from that perspective. And I really do love the pattern that AMD. So I was thinking the next rotation, whenever that takes place, AMD would hopefully benefit from that. I mean, yeah, I mean, it could be one of the next big ones to go. I mean, AMD is still in a leadership role in terms of the chip sector. I mean, everything's kind of aligning for AMD at the moment. I mean, it's been for the past year or so. We had kind of a beautiful run up here. And coronavirus, it didn't really take too much of a hit. I say that before I do it. It's 37%, which isn't bad. That's not a bad hit for considering the market went down. What did the market go down? 31%. So it went down less than the market. I should just roll everything into AMD. AMD is just ridiculous. There's a story on Reddit, and I kind of believe it, about a guy who just hyper focuses his positions, and his two positions that he's hyper focused in is AMD and that NCLH, that other cruise line that's up today. Those were his two hyper focused positions. So, all right, still 1-4 for the Nasdaq, still holding up there relatively nicely, and yeah, AMD's in a great position. How's Apple doing? Apple's doing okay. It looks like it is a new all-time high for Apple at that 328 print. Amazon trying to come back a little bit this morning, not too bad though. Microsoft, these are still in a beautiful cup and handle. How much did this one decline? I mean, you're likely at some stage to have another, so that one only went down 29%. I mean, yeah, you're completely likely to have another huge run in these mega caps, which is crazy to me when you look at valuations and such. Facebook. All right, Facebook's already at all-time highs. I don't know if we noticed that or not. Looks like holding the 20-day moving average so far. It's just been kind of working its way up. There's your handle. Facebook came down 38%. Still isn't too bad. And here's the weird part. And I mean, this may be why we're just so lucky to be, investing in this time, you know, is that okay, so the coronavirus, so let's do this. Let's go to a chart where I can draw for a second. So this is what I've been thinking about a little bit lately, is you've got the market which wants to basically be here, right? I mean, essentially, let's just say this is your comments on Soxel. I don't know if I did, Rob. What'd you say? You talk about volume in Soxel, but it isn't hit an ETF. You always tell me not to worry about volume in TQQQ. Um, yeah, it is an ETF. And it's not that volume doesn't matter. It's okay. So the TQQQ is a derivative of the QQQ. I don't know if Soxel is a derivative of any other ETF, so it's different. So the TQQQ derives from the QQQ. So by definition, its volume isn't as important. I mean, all volume's important, but so I think anyway, I'm a volume guy, Rob, so I always look at volume. I'm constantly looking at volume. So yeah, I mean, ideally you want elevated volume, Period. I mean, that's your ideal situation. Sometimes things move without elevated volume and volume steps in later or doesn't step in at all and it just keeps running. Apple's done that a few times. But yeah, it is a little different for ETFs, but mainly when they're derived from other ETFs. Okay, BW's got his bear case here. I can respect that. I definitely respect that. What I was going to go into is actually how is the bull case. Okay, so the market's going along as it wants to, right? And then Corona hits and goes kaboom right there. And the Fed steps in here and starts buying assets. Okay, and then what happens is we kind of V up in Corona. And now we're right about here. So this is obviously a much longer term chart. All right. Um, so this is what's happened so far in the charts. Well, let's say the Fed did not step in. Let's say, for instance, the Fed required institutions to liquidate. Yeah, basically a 10-year chart, maybe a 20-year chart, the way things are going. But um, so the market's going along right on their trajectory. Okay, and this can go for almost any scenario, really. But let's walk through this for a minute. So it walks up, Corona hits, and then the stock market sells off a little bit late, but it still sells off, right? Fed buys right here, or puts in Fed eases. This is where Fed steps in, and mainly it eases, is what it does. It eases liquidity requirements for institutions and all that stuff, okay? Because keep in mind, the stock market isn't driven by most forces people think it's driven by. It's actually driven by their need to buy and sell. The institutions need to buy and sell securities, right? So here they need to sell because their margin is out of whack now. So they have to sell assets to maintain within those margin or liquidity requirements, whatever the term you want to use. So Fed eases here. What if the Fed doesn't ease? What if the Fed says you still have to sell? And then maybe now we start to rebound. Okay, so we're starting to open, we're starting to rebound really the past couple of weeks or a month or so, and in a normal circumstance, we would have dropped a little bit further and then formed some type of a bottom, but the Fed stepped in early. Hurts up 95%? Oh my God. They're up 40% yesterday. Let me finish this and we'll go back to that. So the Fed eases here, reversing the market's thing. Whether that's good or bad, that's a moot point, right? This is just what's happening. So without the Fed easing, we would have continued dropping. I'm sure everyone at least agrees with that, and even BW says I heard that. And now we would have been following possibly the same trajectory here, just over here. But what happens? So okay, the Fed doesn't ease. Maybe we go on a little bit more lackadaisical of a run up. But if this was our potential future, if the Fed didn't ease, now we're up here. And those same forces that would have been buying are still going to keep buying. Does that make sense? That's kind of what I'm thinking at this moment is that we're in this scenario because now unemployment numbers are getting better. Now things are going to start open. Economic numbers are going to start getting better. And if we are in this topsy-turvy world where good news is bad and bad news is good, then yes, we should revert lower. But if this was all Fed-based rally, if this curtailed this entire down draw in the market of maybe another 30, 40%, in all honesty, it probably could have been another 2008 if the Fed didn't step in and say we're not going to let that happen, right? It's like if you've got your Aunt Jody choking on a pretzel and she's dying on the cardboard, and then you got Uncle Jim over there, who's a EMT, and he dislodges the pretzel, he circumvented her death. Fed may have circumvented the market's death. And Aunt Judy could be a huge bitch. I got to be honest with you. I never liked her from the get-go. She's mean to people. It's just because she's hateful about her life, really, in reality. But, Aunt Judy came back from the dead, and just going to go on and live her life. So that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. I'm thinking that the Fed stopped the abyss with very extreme measures, very extreme measures. And then from here, which we're now here, you have a choice to make. Okay, are it does unemployment easing, right, and people going back to work, um, does the market reward that behavior with continued bullish action, or does it use it as a chance to sell? Okay, I don't have the answer to that question. Um, Usually, though, when the Fed is buoying the market, which it kind of is right now, and we saw this in early in 20, or I'm sorry, late in 2018, when the Fed tried to raise interest rates in a rather healthy market slash economy, the market just died. The market just gave it up. So the question is the Fed going to stop its buying or not? And if the Fed is still going off of the indicators of unemployment, because unemployment, employment's going do, and we went kaboom. Now we're going like this right now, right? And we're going to eventually go back up. If the Fed's going to go by unemployment rates, I don't know if this is enough to get them to stop easing. I don't know where in this cycle they start to say, okay, we're not going to buy any more treasuries, and maybe we're up here. I don't know the answer to that question, but jumping on prematurely to the short bandwagon, look, you're going to get lucky from time to time in the markets, okay? So, I mean, I think it's a situation where if you're shorting, you could get lucky, but for the most part, so far, that hasn't been the case. And that's my very professional presentation. Yeah. Well, that wasn't really for you, BW. I was just generally, I was just kind of, I was thinking about that. But I appreciate that. Yeah. All right. He's talking about Hertz Rent-A-Car is up like 100%. Holy bejesus. Oh, Rob, we should just listen to Rob. Okay. I'm just gonna hand the show over to Rob, because apparently Rob is a much better trader than I am. Yeah, I still don't like Aunt Judy. Okay, it's just she's horrible. I wish Uncle Jim wasn't there, and yeah. But yeah, we're just gonna listen to Rob from now on. Like, there's no reason not to. Rob's caught. Rob wanted a long Hertz. I told him not to. I'm an idiot. He wanted a long LK at $1. I didn't let him. He wanted a long NIO at $1. I didn't let him. Just don't listen to me about beating down penny stocks because apparently they do the impossible. Absolute crazy ish we live in right now. Absolutely nuts. All right, what else can we look at? Other than AMD, like what's setting up other than AMD? It's like one of the only actual setups in the market is beautiful cup and handle right here. Very big pattern as well. Not quite sure it's valid long-term turnaround play. I will say though, let's go look at my long-term turnarounds. Speaking of which, most of these have already kind of moved. Goose, I don't know if that qualifies anymore. Goose was never really a market leader. I mean, it had a great run. I was hoping it would base and kind of come back, but it not doing so hot. PNFP, way down there. That's really weird. Align still trying to get up. Looks like it is getting up actually. Kind of a stranger turnaround play, but not sure if there's a tremendous amount of confidence in that one. That's a weird one. AMN. What's going on here, AMN? All right, Ellie. I don't know. That's weird. Does that not exist anymore? No, that's today. It's trading. I'm not sure why I don't have a weekly chart. All right, booking dot yeah. This one is definitely a leader, a huge leader, and probably, a buy down in this area. Obviously, at this stage of the game, you got to wait till it gets up to the trend line, probably. Oh, that's right, Rob. Yeah, you want to short it into BK, and I told you not to. Okay, so I was right on that one, but you were right on the other ones. See, Rob, we save each other. Auto Home. Yeah, see, Auto Home trying to break from it's got a longer term. Actually, it's kind of like two longer term turnaround plays. But this is of interesting long here. This is a Chinese used auto, the like auto trader for China. FE monthly. Yeah, look at weekly. I ain't going to monthly. I got to change chart settings. First Energy. See, why aren't I getting weeklies on these? That's so weird. See, that's it. Oh, there we go. Oh, that was crazy. Oh, are you seeing this prior high up here at 52? Yeah, see, it's in the middle of this range, though. I'm not a big fan of investing in the middle of the range unless you have a nice setup, which kind of has a decent setup. It's not fully formed yet, and it's kind of funny because even on the daily, this is that whole range. This is the whole thing. So, let's expand on that a little bit. Is this a solar company? I don't even know what this does. So it's above the moving averages, and they're expanding. The 50 and the 20 are flipped. That could change. But the 200 breaking up. So there's a nice cut base right there. Yeah, it's interesting. It's not my favorite chart in the market though. All right, five below. That one's actually, I'm surprised this one actually didn't rally a little bit harder. The high of 41, isn't that the one we saw? There was like a double top right there. Oh, 41. Come on, weekly. You can do it. Oh, it's because I have it going back 20 years. Ugh, never mind. Maybe 5 years will work. 1.23 for the NASDAQ. So far holding above that 1%, which is really nice. Yeah, I don't do monthlies are all right, fine, I'll do monthly. Grr. I change all my settings. How's that 10 years? Should go back to 2010. Oh, I did 5 years. That's because I'm an idiot. That's why. Oh yeah, monthly. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. That would also, in my opinion, be a long-term turnaround play. Yeah, basically at that hit that 51 level. Um, Now down here in the middle though, see yeah, you just have to watch this for that larger breakout. The beautiful thing about the stock market, in my opinion, is the fact that you do have so many assets to choose from. The problem is you can't see one thing and then focus on it. Not that you're doing that, but just kind of me generalizing here. Yeah, you can keep an eye on it. I don't know much about First Energy, but I mean, I don't mind this cut. If it breaks out of the smaller cut base, and you see you're even in the middle of this range from here to here, which is a little bit awkward. So, uh, yeah, another thing I do, BW, is I really focus on the leaders of the market, and I wouldn't consider First Energy a leader. I don't know much about it, but I really haven't heard about it. So in my book, that kind of tells me it's not really a leader per se. Um, Skyworks long-term turnaround breakout right there. That one got tricky though with Corona. It tried to rally and then came back on the comeback. You could have got Skyworks. Skyworks a very high quality business and likely probably buy down here at 92. Light. Not sure if this qualifies as a long-term turnaround play. Let me get rid of most of that forward looking on the chart. It's too much. There we go. Um, yeah, light here with a kind of a little symmetrical pattern. Breakout of that could be really healthy. ABC continuing out of a very long-term turnaround play. Right there, see, I'd much rather invest in this right now, BW, than that because you're kind of coming out of this, and even if it rallies back up to 120, yeah, I guess it's see my trend line here. I had this on the looks like I had this. I was eyeballing this at some point. Crazy. And PKG long-term turnaround play here as well, trying to break out at the moment. Biogen playing with its trend line. I get it, but why that specific chart? Oh, it's got a 3% dividend yield. Well, my trades have a 100% dividend yield. I just sell the stock. 3.59. I guess, it just depends on what you want to do. Not that my strategy is better than anyone else's. It's not. I mean, whatever makes you money makes you money. I'm not mad at that, but um, yeah, I'm not really mad at that. But the way that I trade is I look for high quality companies that are in a situation where they can go on big runs quickly, rather quickly, and has to be a high quality business. High quality business has to have a good chart pattern set up, and usually a leader in their industry. Restoration Hardware, Amazon rolling over a little bit there. That long term turnaround play already broke out for Amazon down here at the 2,000 level. We're up, looks like 20%. Netflix PFPT. Roku still needs a lot of work. Domino's Pizza is already well extended from its long-term. MongoDB long-term turnaround, trying to maybe another buy opportunity down here. All right, let's get back to the actionable list. And UAL still holding up pretty good. IVR looks like it's backed up from its 50% gain to about 25%. I don't think that's too unexpected. NAT. See, my IVR play was my dividend play was first time I've ever played for a dividend. Well, I can't say that's true. I think back before I really knew much better, I tried some dividends and I'm like, yeah, I'm just not holding this long. And then IVR came along. We did invest in IVR. I got into this for the dividend with the understanding that it's super, super beaten down. So it comes back, it'd be a good stock trade anyway. Okay. Well, let me ask you this, BW. Are you profitable in your investing style? Yeah. See, I don't care what you do as long as you're profitable. But see, and I don't want to rip anyone's head off if they have a different style than mine. That's not what I do. I don't do that. Um, like there's some people that really like gold and real feel. Well, this is the stock market, not real estate. And you're talking about energy. What do you mean? You mean are you like an actual real estate investor, like you do flips or you rentals or something? So you're profitable with bonds and gold? You're profitable. Okay. And are you new to stocks? Actually, if you're looking at, I got a stock to show you if you're looking at energy stuff, bigger picture. Where's it at? What's that, Rob? Are you still back? Are you still here, Rob? Yeah, well, I wouldn't, F-Cell's not what he's looking for, though. I don't think it's what he's looking for. It's not I don't think it's an energy like business. There's that one that was just going up forever. It starts with a B, BEP? Yeah, BEP. Look into this guy. Look into this guy, BEP. Um, they've been on a tear. See, wait till the weekly pops up. CHK. You know what's funny, Rob? I was going through my trades the other day, and I found back when I was trading CHK, I actually did pretty good. I made some money on CHK, at least for that year. I don't know if I tried it again, but Come on, BEP. But yeah, BW looking at BEP. I'm not sure what their dividend yield is, but um, they they basically build for governments and utilities large alternative energy installations. So, and they were just on a massive run here for 2019, just huge for basically a utility company to go from 28 up to 57 is actually pretty nuts. Um, and then now it's kind of, if somebody wanted to sell for whatever reason, or I mean, maybe they did this maybe they sold off because governments probably aren't going to be spending money on alternative energy, but that's going to come back really quickly. And actually, look at the volume recently here. That's exceptional volume on this one. Look at that. That's some pretty big picture stuff right there. I kind of like that. Actually, Rob, I don't really track my trades on. I don't keep up with that kind of manual stuff. It would really have to be automatic. I just kind of look. I kind of look at the past and my P&L on my broker, and just kind of go that way. Is kind of what I do. In all honesty, I wish I would have started out trading how I tell people to start out trading, because I usually advise you guys way different than I do myself. So I mean, but I would actually start, you know, I wish I would have printed charts out with notes and all kinds of crazy stuff like that. But if Trade Triggers ever gets going, that'll be definitely a part of that. I do it mostly manual. I do very quick post analysis. Like in RH, I'm doing like real time post analysis, which is, why I'm still in the UAL trade, as it looks like it's taking legs lower. So not doing super hot right now. I think that's a joke, but profit and loss. It's profit and loss. P&L statement, such. Huh. My options haven't moved at all. It's awesome. Um, anyway, BK, but yeah, yeah, I guess if you're a slower moving investor, yeah, BEP would be interesting. Um, how I do, I'm not sure if I think I've seen you here before, but I mean, I look for like growth stocks. Um, I look for growth stocks, great chart patterns, leaders in their industry. I don't chase penny stocks. Because I mean, you can make just as much money in these big stocks as you can in penny stocks. You're going to have a much higher win rate, and in my opinion, it's easier to hold them. Yeah. So that's what we do though. Like this whole coronavirus thing, this was just an opportunity. These were opportunity plays. Most of these coronavirus plays. Usually though, we're looking at what's a good one? We're looking at like a ServiceNow, which we haven't really followed too well, but ServiceNow, which has been just in huge rally mode. Big tech leader right now. You'd be looking at Amazon, which has been doing great. Okta, which I haven't really taken any positions in, but has been doing really well. MongoDB, which I just closed out a pretty good trade in. Had my long-term turnaround play right there. So I mean, those are the ones we usually look for, the ones that are going up immediately for the next couple of months, ideally. Hopefully we get trades for several months. Sometimes it's only a couple of weeks, but that's usually what I look for. RH, another good example. This was kind of a duality. This one was a long-term turnaround play out of here. And then when coronavirus dumped it, yeah, to me it was a no-brainer. I should have got in heavier. Anyway, that's kind of what I look for. Genus, you know what? The thing to do with those, that's not Genus. The thing to do with those, in my opinion, Rob, is just to put them on a watch list and watch them. I mean, yeah, I mean, it could come back. You got to see where it settles out, right? Like if you look at it last time. So let's look at Genus from this perspective. Don't look at it from that perspective. Look at it from this perspective. You think it had a great run there? What about that? What about that run? So so first it popped 236%. It based and settled out here. It only took 3 days. And then it popped 174%, settled out here, right? And then obviously it had a much larger pop. So we just got to see where it's going to settle out here. That was, yeah, huge pop, 670%. Usually, though, by the time you're up that much and everyone's eyes are on it, the trade's usually dead. But you can see where it settles out and see if it goes sideways. And if you want to get involved, you can try to get another curl up. Hard to say what a stock like this is going to do. I was looking at some valuation numbers on this, and it's pretty high priced. Like the Teletubbies people have a much smaller market cap than these guys, and their brand isn't near as mature. But I mean, you never know. RH, oh, I forgot you were still in that one. I would, yeah. Yeah, I would. It's after earnings. It didn't pop. Um, yeah, I would personally. Of course, well, if it were me, it would be options, and so I would be waiting for a base to form or something. So if you're in the stock and you want to hold on for longer term, RH is a very high quality business, super high quality business, which is why I would felt comfortable doing an option in it because it's really high quality. And but yeah, I mean, this could be an exit point for a trade. Absolutely, it could be. Our Manitowoc did really good too. Did you guys notice that? Look at our Manitowoc. Remember we had it before the trend line break and determined fundamentally it was kind of sketchy, but technically it did what we were expecting. We're up here testing that 200 daily moving average. Pretty awesome. Yenti from North Hollywood. OKE, what's that? That's another reason BW. Yeah, closing consecutive days in a row below previous highs is a bearish signal. Yep, I would agree with that. I didn't mention that, but that's 100% right. What does it do? I don't know what OKE is. So obviously it's something to do with something because it gapped down pretty hard during coronavirus and it's been coming back. I think these are tough to get into right now. I wouldn't be getting involved now. I'd be waiting for the next, I don't even know what this does, but yeah, it's been doing great since the bottom. 20, you're up at 44. That's fantastic. But you wanted to get this one here at about the $25 level. That was your entry if you were looking at this one, but it wasn't on our radar. Up here, it's too extended. It's just hard. It's just super hard to get involved in stocks like this that are up super high. Which is why at this stage of the game for the market rally where everyone's trying to pile in, it's real important to be patient and kind of bide your time. So, man, MongoDB beat up today. Although it looks like it's not going anywhere. It could be a time to load up on some MongoDB. Not about, I don't know about load up. That's probably the wrong use of words here, but could be looking at a position or at least leaning into a position. Um, yeah, it could be. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I definitely could do that. Yeah, if you want to try to squeeze a little more out of it if we get a bounce. Yeah, market could use a bounce. I wouldn't mind if UAL ended up closer to 20% again. Yeah, but no, I completely agree with BW up here. There just shows a little bit of distribution up here around earnings time. Now that being said, it's not tremendous. I don't know what position you have, Rob. If you've got if you've got just stocks, if you got like if you have options, I would just sell it because just bank the profit. I probably would have sold. I probably would have sold early. Well, I don't know about earlier. It wasn't that much higher, but because it didn't have the gap up on earnings. So what's going to happen is your premium is going to evaporate. Plus, you're going to lose. You're going to lose over the weekend too. So if you had options, I would just ditch it. But if you have stock, you do have an opportunity to try and hold on to it for a while longer. Like I said, it's a very high quality business. Likely in the long run is going higher. Is my general point. I just don't know when that's going to happen. So if you're looking for like I said, we've had this thing now for what? I think it was this is the sixth we got in. So you've had this thing for a month, and it. I don't know if you got in when I got in, but 150% in a month. It, crazy, absolutely crazy. And on a great company like Restoration Hardware. Like I said, coronavirus drop was a gift. We're lucky to have had it. Best percent gainer. Oh, you got in right when I got in then. Oh, that's pretty cool. Good job. Um, yeah, I mean, I guess it depends how you want to play it, man. I mean, that's one of the better prints you're going to find in a stock, period. I mean, if you want to hold it for longer, maybe until you find something better, I guess. Maybe until AMD starts breaking out. If AMD starts a run, you could maybe rotate that into some AMD. I don't know if you have to let it settle. I trade my raw, so my stocks have to settle 2 days, which is outrageous, which is stupid. Probably just so they can fudge with the liquidity. But yeah, I mean, AMD I think is in a very interesting spot right on the 50-day moving average. I think hopefully a nice high elevation volume breakout. A nice pocket pivot would do the body good for AMD. This is going to be a little bit troublesome, but that was also a nice reversal day as well. Oh, you got to settle it. Yeah, that's a tough decision. That's a tough decision. Yeah, I guess see what it does by the end of the day today. See what it does. I mean, if it comes back very nicely, it close up here in the 260 level. What was our prior high here? 257 and change. So it's got to get, so where's 257? Right about here. So we couldn't close there yesterday, couldn't close there the day before, like what BW is saying. So yeah, we'll see if it does that. Add it in IVR. I don't know. IVR just had a I don't know about a topping day, but it's kind of a it's not a bad day. Look, it's a huge gap, still up 22%. That's still a big run. Um, oh, OKE utility. Yeah, check that out, BW, if you're looking at utilities. High dividend. This IVR. So you want to talk about dividends? This IVR used to have a 50-cent dividend. And when this thing dropped like a stone, and probably due to good reasons, we looked into it. It sounds like it was due to good reasons, but dropped like a stone, became a 60% dividend yield on a REIT. This is a REIT, IVR. So yeah, and then I bought a few shares of it, and so we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. What's the dividend on OKE? Everything's mixed together. 935 quarterly. So basically a dollar, so it's like a 6 or 7 or 8% dividend yield. It's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, if you're looking for dividends. I don't trade dividends though. Not my thing. Yeah, 3.74 dividend yield. Yeah, that's about 8.45%. That's good for a dividend stock. Absolutely good for a dividend stock. It was better down here. It was better down there. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm not going to go too deep into that, but all right. So it looks like our high flyers for the past couple of days are coming up with a little bit of stagnation. A little bit. Huge gaps. Not sure if they just use that as a selling opportunity. It could be. But if we're going to rotate back into those leaders again, Apple, we noted Apple, Microsoft, all those guys have nice chart patterns on them. AMD as well. All these tech leaders, which have been basing for the past couple of weeks, if they're going to come back to life, I don't know if UAL how that's going to work out for some of these names. That's an unknown. That's an unknown. I mean, so far they're holding up pretty well. Soxel holding up pretty well as well. Yeah, space is actually interesting. I was looking at space again yesterday. I was looking at it and it has quite a few pocket pivots. I don't know if I want to like jump into it, but two pocket pivots, three pocket pivots, a pocket pivot, a pocket pivot, a pocket pivot. This thing has a lot of pocket pivots. It's going to have another good run sometime. I just hard to say when it's going to be. Hard to say when it's going to be. But yeah, this is how do you go from utilities to space? That's like that's complete opposites. That's like some that's like that's like, walking on the beach and just hollering at some super hot chick like, damn, that chick's hot. And then seeing this 600-pound lady just walking down the street and going, damn, that chick's hot. You're like, what? You like both? Usually you'd like one or the other. The guy that likes a 600-pound chick ain't liking the super hot skinny chick, and vice versa. Yeah, I'm kind of intrigued by space. I think this has options too. It does. So I may just bide my time until it gets ready to go. But yeah, it's some point it's going to go. We have our range in here, and it's just kind of doing its thing. So I like it. I'm still keeping a close eye on it. Wouldn't mind getting involved. 153 for the Nasdaq. I want these to come back. See, RH took a couple of days. RH did its thing, so kind of went lower. Looked kind of bad, but never really undercut the prior days, and then kind of came back pretty nicely. I wonder if we're going to do, and the volume was relatively high, so there was some distribution, but it ended up coming back. UAL could do something similar, so I don't want to get rid of it prematurely. I also don't want to let my profit evaporate. So lovely balance, in which there's basically no right answer. 244 stop for RH. All right, yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see what happens in RH. That's a pretty tight stop, Rob. I'm not too mad at that. I mean, he'll probably get stopped out today. I think they're rotating again. What's this? Lithium Motors. Oh, here's another auto manufacturer. I think this is also electric car. LAD to our add to watch list. I think we added a. No, I thought we. No, I thought we added a. We didn't have one. Okay. All right, fine. We should have a electric car watch list. LAD should be on there. Carvana looks like it wants to go too at some point in time. ZYXI. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. What do these guys do again? You're still stuck on pays, aren't you? So this FDA, so they do something. But they're looking really good right now. What the hell do these guys do? Oh, really? Holding pays? That goes back to that one day when it was up a lot. Space doesn't have a dividend, does it, Yenti? No way. Makes no sense. Go away, Seeking Alpha. Fine, I don't want to look at your article then. All right. I'm not Yenti, I already talked about space. Did you miss it? What happened there, buddy? We already had a small discussion about it. All I see is 9% space and question mark. I don't know what that means. I'm assuming 9% is the what you're saying is the OKE dividend, and then space, and I already talked about space, so I'm not sure what the question mark's about. Yeah, there's space. No one liked my skinny fat girl? I thought that was pretty funny. I thought that was pretty hilarious, actually. No, I mean I like space. Space, look, it's the final frontier. Okay, these are the voyages of the starship Virgin Galactica, and I think it's gonna do great. I just don't know on what time horizon. I think it's gonna do good. All right, UAL bouncing right back up a little bit. Not really right back up, but 155 for the Nasdaq. Holy bejesus! Wonder if I'm my level 3 options now. I was gonna pull my level 3 options. I am not level 3 options. Nicola. Nicola's actually on our list today. There you go. Cool. What's up, babe? So, hi, bye. Hey, Cakes, look.
Screen.
That's in this one. You can look at that one too, but bam!
Nice.
Hi, James. Good morning.
Look.
Huh? What, James? What?
Why would you like babe?
Oh, I was like, bam! Christina! What's up, Christina? So many good opportunities right now. It's so hard to know what to do, you know? I love it. So many good possibilities. And rotation is important too. Hey guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Kids are waking up. Wife's leaving. Coming up to 8 o'clock anyways. We've survived the morning thus far. So hopefully the market's in the clear and continuing with its bull run. Looks like UAL is trying to come back. We'll see if it's able to or not. But so far, tremendous day today, guys. Congratulations to those of you that have been with us and stuff. So yeah, congratulations. That's just more of this, guys. We're just going to do a lot more of this, hopefully. Probably not to this extreme. I'm going to end the stream saying this was a pretty extreme market that we are kind of in right now, and we're still in the middle of it. Doesn't happen all the time, especially with these big pullbacks like this. So, all right, guys, have a good one. I will see you on Monday, unless you're in the power hour for crypto.